Hi, I'm Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another card making video today and we're going to look at stamping and decoupaging with your stamped images. So I'm using one of our brand new limited edition 2nd anniversary stamps. This Friday, on Friday the 14th of August 2020, is our 2nd anniversary on Create and Craft. So I've done this lovely stamp set with some coordinating dies, and I'm also going to use this Enjoy Yourself die cut sentiment set as well. I'm going to use the Wow from this set, which has got the word and an outline as well that you can layer up. So the first thing to do here is stamp out your main image, which is this lovely floral design hand drawn by me in the circle. So it's just one big stamp, really easy to get a good looking card straight away with one big image. Of course you can just stamp it once and colour it in. With this card I'm making today, I'm going to stamp it twice. The first one in just black ink, so I'm using the VersaFine black onyx. So my drink was just in shot there and I wanted to show that it was a sparkling water and not a gin in a tin, so I'm not drinking on the job. So here's the VersaFine black onyx, which is going to pick up all that lovely hand drawn detail of the stamp. I'm using my Eureka, so hopefully if there's any little bits that I haven't quite picked it up, I'm just going to go back in again and make sure it's stamped perfectly. So that's the black ink done. Because I put a second piece of card underneath the one that I just stamped in black, I can now just move that top one out the way. I haven't got to fiddle around moving my stamped image around. I can go back in, and this time I'm going to use some embossing ink, as I'm going to heat emboss in our famous Gold Digger shiny gold metallic embossing powder from our Luminosity range. So anti-static first with any embossing, particularly if you've got detailed stamps like this. Same as the black ink, I'm going in twice with my stamp tool, so I know I've picked up every little bit of the detail. And then let's heat emboss that with that gold powder. If you clean your stamps off with a damp cloth, microfiber cloth is good, or a white, then you can keep them for ages, you know, almost a lifetime if you look after them well. So here's the Gold Digger. When you put it on, it looks like a dull gold, but obviously then when you heat set it, it turns to a beautiful luminous shiny gold. So just making sure it's picked up every little bit of that floral design. It's quite a modern floral design, I think, with this, but because it was a special birthday one, I really wanted it to be a kind of classic, what you would expect from Thirsty Brush, the hand-drawn florals, and something quite modern that you can make look traditional, or you can make look really funky on your cards. So just heat setting that now. You can see the shine already. Get your heat tool nice and hot when you're doing a large image like this, and you will get less of a kind of warp or curve in your card then. So that's that lovely shiny gold. So we've got the two pieces and we're going to use the dies. I'll show you which die to use with which bit. So I want the black to be in the background and the gold to be decoupaged up. So the black has got a circle die here with a bit of lovely stitching detail. Just going to hold that in place with a bit of low tack tape to run through my machine. And then the decoupage bit cuts out the main 3 flowers of the design. Don't worry that you've heat set all that other stuff in the rest of the circle. Keep hold of it for another design. You can always paper piece it some of the flowers back in from something else that you've stamped it out, so never get rid of it or feel that it's wasted in any way. So just pop out the 3 centre flowers, and I'm going to layer those up so you've got the contrast of the black and the gold, and that's the bit I said keep hold of. You can paper piece something back in or use it as an aperture even. So I want to add a bit of colour to the decoupaged gold part, and I'm just using some Kuretake brush pens and a little bit of water to add a really quick bit of colour in there. So just some brush strokes of the colour, and then blending out with a bit of water on my brush. Just gives a very quick bit of light and shade. And then I've got 3 different shades of greens. I've got more of an olivey one and a more of grey green. So I'm going to go in and do each flower in a slightly different green to give it a bit of interest and texture. Same technique though, a little bit of colour there and just blending out with a damp brush. So that's the decoupaged image done. And that's going to look really pretty laid on the top. So next thing to do, I want to get a sentiment. So I could use those lovely hugs or all different sentiments that come in with the stamp set, but I thought I'd show you what some of these enjoy yourself dies, sentiment dies look like. So I'm going to use the wow one, and I'm going to do my outline, the word itself in some metallic, and the background in some vellum. So I've just chopped a couple of pieces of scrap there, and I'll just hold those in place again with a bit of tape to run through my machine, and I can do both at once then. And we should be good to go to put the card together. So that's the wag and the background. I was going to layer the design onto a plain piece of card, but I felt there was a little bit too much white space for this design, so I decided to use some of those colours that I coloured the flowers with on a piece of acetate, and I've just squidged it with a bit of water, and I'm just going to make a very pale, quick watercolour background. So I ended up making 2 out of this bit of ink that was on the acetate. So I dried them off and decided which one of the 2 to use for this card, save the other one for another project. So very pale, it just brings it all together, I think, with that bit of colour. Wet glue I've used, Pin Flare or any other wet glue, tape, anything like that, to hold down the circle. To have it in the middle like I've done here, or even centered, say 2/3 of the way up your card. It looks lovely either or even offset coming off the side of your card. Pop my sentiment on the vellum so that can dry. Now to put those flowers on. So I thought it'd be really nice if those were raised up and pop out from that black and white image at the back. That gives it real dimension. So it's kind of like half a clean and simple card then, but you've got some kind of arty bits with the watercolour splashes and you know, some colouring and embossing on there, and this built up sentiment just adds that little bit extra. And I'm putting the wow straight across the middle. I think that's a really effective, clean and simple card. Very thirsty brush with the colours. So I really hope you enjoyed that. Do check out my other videos while you're here, and I will see you next time.